Welcome to Locke Key Unlocked, a podcast about Locke Key on Netflix, as well as the graphic novels / comic books by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we are popping in here with a quick thing in your old podcast feed because the official full Season 3 final season trailer for Locke and Key has just dropped.
Holy
some big moments going on here. So if you haven't checked it out, it's over on YouTube and Daily Motion and a couple other places like that. I assume.
Shout out Daily Motion. Got you.
There you go. Vimeo. It's probably on Vimeo. Anyway, lots of big stuff going on here. What'd you guys think? What were your reactions? What are the things you picked out?
It's fun going right into like the final season to know that, and then also the like Dodge is gone, like the dread, the setting up, the tension is palpable here, and then we get the introduction as we sort of called from the last season, the time shift key right at the top here. Very excited for that.
Well, yeah, and I also like the way it kind of builds because it starts off like, hey, we should be good. Everybody's gone. We can just have a nice summer. It's like, oh God, no. And yeah, and it completely delivers on they're not safe. It's all going to go horribly wrong. We get to see some images that are pulled straight from the comic, which I'm very excited about. And I couldn't believe I was watching. So it got me very tense and very excited for what's to come. And there's a lot to come.
I'll say Frederick Gideon as a villain. We get to see a lot more of him here. He seems to have brought forward some Revolutionary War soldiers, which we've seen in previous footage as well. That seems like some big danger there. Maybe it has something to do with the time shift key, maybe not. He's also opening demon portals, which is pretty terrifying. That's pretty bad.
Very powerful. Yeah. Also, I like that he looks messy. He looks like a rag doll that's been shaken up, and that makes... I feel like villains are like a lot of shows are like, let's make the villain sleek and sort of like put together. I'm actually much more threatened by a villain who doesn't care how they look and like seems to be right at the edge of being like, you know what? I'm just going to sleep in this mud puddle because that's how angry I am. That's how much of a villain I am.
The other things we got to see, which aren't a huge surprise, but Tyler seems to be back. Obviously, there's a big cliffhanger in the past season about whether he's going to return or not. Also, seems like Nina knows what's going on with the keys. Again, not a huge surprise, but that's great to see. Very exciting. And Kinsey seems to be stepping up in a big way, particularly after her hero moments in season 2. So I think leaning into what Amelia Jones can do, that's so smart on the part of them. What were you going to say, Justin?
Well, I was going to say, like, as in the comics, I feel like shifted a lot between our three main Locke kids, having them sort of be in the primary role in different arcs. And it feels like the show's doing that because, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, but Tyler's aging out of the keys. I don't know if they're going to unlock him, but we have Nina as sort of the somewhat filling that sort of adult Tyler-y role, or the Uncle Dunk role potentially a little bit. To have Kinsey be sort of the keeper of the keys, I think it's fun. She's a badass, as we saw last season.
And a couple of other big things that I'll point out in the trailer. Again, I think we saw some of this footage earlier, but they seem to go in Gordy's head. That's a character who was introduced very briefly the last season, who knew...
I think we're going to get the Tempest photo from the comics. Yeah. We're going to get to see the major production of the Tempest. Very excited about that.
Yes. So there's that. But the biggest moments are saved for the end when it looks like Bodhi travels back in time to season 2 to the showdown with Gabe and Eden on the staircase, and seemingly, this is what I took away from the footage, seemingly brings Dodge potentially back to the present. So not only is Frederick Gideon there, but Dodge is there as well. At least that's what I was taking away from the trailer potentially. And that's really bad news. Even worse news, and this is a big spoiler for the comic books, but in the books, Bodhi kind of dies because of Dodge. Dodge goes inside of Bodhi. I don't know if they would go that far on the show, but the's certainly...
Especially since we've done a little bit of that already here with a lot of the game
But you do get a line where Dodge says, "Thanks so much for the ride." And Bodhi looks like he's in serious danger there. So I'm very worried. I am super worried about Bodhi.
That whole shot of like Bodhi running down halls there and... Mom screaming after him was so intense. And then the kind of like Dodge reveal of like, oh no, I thought we were past that. It's super scary because we already got this creepy ragdoll villain who sleeps in mud puddles when he's angry. So, I mean, this is going to be so insane. Villain. Yeah.
I'm curious how the time shift key works in the comics. It's a little bit more of like watching a movie, sort of from inside the movie, and it feels like this is a more powerful time shift key, or just used differently if Dodge can come through it potentially, or
Yeah.
so that's interesting. And let's not forget, this show is not afraid to deviate from the material in the comics. I
that's
bet we're
true.
going to get more keys. I bet we're going to get some stuff that we just do not see coming.
Looks great. Big trailer. Very,
Looks
very
amazing.
excited / nervous for this season. And of course, we're going to be covering all of it here on the Lock and Key Unlocked
Coming soon.
podcast. Coming very, very soon. Coming rapidly soon. August 10th, right, is the premiere date. So hopefully we'll have some stuff in your feeds ready for you when it premieres. In the meantime, we have a live show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. to Crowdcast and YouTube. Come hang out. We would love to chat with you about Lock and Key, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or the app of your choice to subscribe, listen, and follow the show at Lock and Key Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, comicbookclublive.com for this podcast and many more. Until next time, keep it locked right here.